wherever physical access, power, and telecommunications can safely be secured. We are still working between Starlink generators, GPS, to get as much more up as possible, especially in the 5 most affected parishes, because without that and without light, they will see no Christmas. That they will have nothing to be able to see with their eyes and buy with their money. Universal Service Fund, critical, especially for those areas. Again, Melissa caused disruption to the USF public Wi-Fi network of 408 community hotspots. Only 72 remained online, and the Western parishes suffered a total loss of all 156 sites, cutting off thousands from education, communication, and emergency support. In response, the USF has rapidly shifted to Starlink satellite systems powered by solar energy, allowing fast off-grid restoration where traditional infrastructure collapsed. In just 14 days, engineers have restored in 17 hard-hit communities across Westmoreland, Hanover, St. Elizabeth, and St. James, Manchester, Trelawney, and St. Anne. We aim to deploy at least 90 Starlink sites by mid-December, supported by private sector technicians now helping. This will allow the fund to begin restoration in central and eastern parishes. The recovery effort is estimated at $863 million, covering satellite equipment, solar power systems, and installation services, an investment that strengthens Jamaica's digital resilience moving forward. So, Madam Speaker, again, those community Wi-Fis are even more important than ever in this disaster, because those places are in remote areas that MPs chose off the beaten track. And if they can have that Wi-Fi so those kids can do some homework, speak to your family, go on social media and do the usual thing like what my colleague over here does every day. Yeah. Every day. Every day.
Blessings, people.
863 million.
Welcome to Portland Spice TV.
It's what it's going to cost to redo all of the damage for the... My own has 863, so that one was done for you. Madam Speaker, members, let me move now to what I think is the most critical aspect of the presentation.
Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the ways of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law do we meditate day and night. For we shall be like trees planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth our fruit in our season. Our leaves shall not wither, and whatsoever we do shall prosper. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show for this day, Wednesday, the 26th day of November, in the year of our Lord Jesus Christ, 2025. Who are you? Where are you? Are you standing right now? Or are you sitting down? Are you lying down? Are you bowing down? What are you doing? What role are you playing today in the well-being of the whole human race? Play a role now. Do something. Do something. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show. We discuss matters. Matters we discuss. We don't discuss people and their private lives here. We discuss politics, which affects every single individual. Wherever you are, the politics touches you. And you are saying you're not touching it. And also, you are standing on the sideline and watching. At Portland Spice TV, we give you a space where your voice can be heard. And we don't seek to be balanced. That is not our first priority. There is some balance, of course, but that is not chief among our aim. Chief among the aim of Portland Spice TV is truth. Simple. And where the fact stands, we stand with the facts. And anytime we find out, say something not true, we back off. Because we don't want to fool nobody. We pride ourselves on being credible. Now, you must admit that some people don't like truth. Some people don't like truth. And some people don't know the truth. There's a quote that I like. It says, truth sounds like hate to those who hate the truth. You want me to repeat that? Truth sounds like hate. So, when you hear them say with bad mind and with this and with that, that is when the truth sounds like hate. Because if somebody's telling a lie, then you come with data and you present the facts that mash down the lie. You understand? So, it's not everybody want to hear that their side not playing well enough. Not everybody want to hear that. But until you admit that your side not playing well and you look some new player and you go seek talent for your side will go down, your side may be winning now, But guess what? Your side are going to stop winning. And those of us who are willing to give your side ideas and to criticize objectively from a platform of patriotism, that's where we criticize from. We don't criticize to hurt people. We criticize for better. And that's why when we criticize here, we provide the alternative. We provide our opinion. But when we are criticized, we're not criticized by opinion. We are criticized by facts. Now that we have a nice size audience, I'm going to beg you to share the live to at least 5 people. Each of you, please and thanks. Share this live to 5 people. We're going to this evening look at this Darrell Vaz thing here and the questions Mark Golden asked and the money that is loaned to JPS. We're going to look at that in the first year. At 5:30, Dr. Burgess, a man who knows about building, a surveyor, man of a PhD. We're going to talk to him about the container house and the idea that we have been putting forward that says to the government, this is what we think you should do. It is more cost effective. It benefits the country's economy more. So we're not touch upon that until we talk to Dr. Burgess. But right now, we're going to listen to Darrell Vaz on JPS yesterday. Don't want to take up too much time because there's also Philip Paulwell. But we want to get to the question that Mark Golden asked Darrell Vaz. We also have a clip from Philip Paulwell, and we're hoping that we might put together a team Saturday morning to discuss this whole energy mix. Maybe bring Ralston into that too as an economist. But let's listen to Darrell Vaz on JPS. Let's listen to Darrell Vaz on JPS.
And the most critical aspect of any chance of quick restoration for the country to come back to some level of normalcy and for the relief and rebuild efforts to really get underway. And that is the issue of electricity. I deliberately left this for the last. As we know, The JPS service license expires, and the license request requires that the government indicates its intention by July 2025. To call the government's position was upon expiration of the current All Island license not to renew under existing terms. It's important to point out and remind Jamaica that failure for the government to have responded would have given the JPS an automatic tenure extension to the existing license of 10 years. So understand what that means in English. If the government did not respond with a position by July 2025, automatically a 10-year extension. So you'd be talking about a license that was given in 2001, renewed in 2016, which expire in 2027, to go from 2027 to 2037 under the same existing conditions. I am not going back. Today is Melissa Day. September 3rd gone. So we're not going to talk about how we got there. We're going to talk about how we're going to fix it. So understand now that Melissa hit. And when Melissa hit, there's a need for restoration.
I want to listen, you know.
The restoration requires money.
Listen.
The emergency disaster fund, which is what you would call the self-insurance for the distribution and transmission line of the JPS, which is not insured because it's uninsurable, is what we have used for Beryl and for Melissa and for all the other events that we have had in recent years. So, as of right now, that fund, based on the claims that have been made already, to prepare for Melissa, has been exhausted.
See, you're there.
So it means
You're there.
that the JPS has 2 years on a license, and they have to raise money to restore. Several iterations, several proposals. One, JPS wants a 15-year extension. And they get 15-year extension, they will do what they need to do to find the money. Other one is that multilaterals are prepared to give them money, but they want at least 8 to 10 years extension. Where does that put us? That put us in two situations. One, a commitment that was made by this minister and this government in June of this year that any new license would be on new terms. A commitment that was made, a commitment that will stand, and no Melissa, no Trelisa, no Belinda is going to change that. So the government is now in a position now, what do we do? Because we need restoration. JPS is saying that the earliest restoration time that they can give us for the worst affected areas is April to May 2026. Can you imagine when you tell a minister that? And on top of which, they want an extended license. That is going to mean that we are in the same situation. Well, Madam Speaker, my colleagues here, many hours, many discussions. Cabinet, not once. Cabinet, not twice. Cabinet 3 times, including yesterday morning. And the decision, thanks to the help and the input of the Ministry of Finance, specifically Minister Williams, and the Financial Secretary, and of course, the new Minister of Efficiency.
Share up the live, people. Share up the live.
We were able to work out yesterday and get approved by Cabinet an agreement to fast track the restoration to end of January, latest early February. Don't clap yet. Don't clap yet. On the basis that the government of Jamaica is not prepared to negotiate any extension of any license other than the process that is going to take us from now until 2027 when this existing license expires. But based on the fact that we need restoration as a country in the shortest possible time, the government of Jamaica has agreed to loan the JPS 150 million United States dollars on the basis that they will use that money, which is estimated at $75 million a month, to restore the entire grid, save and except for any special area that may not be reachable, but the major areas by the end of January, latest early February. What are the terms to make sure that the government and the taxpayers are fully protected? 5 years with an interest rate to be negotiated by the Ministry of Finance, which I'm sure will be a reasonable interest rate, because the higher the interest rate is, the more it's going to pass on to the consumer. And we are cognizant of that. However, they can pay as early as 2 years. Why? Because 2 years the license expires. They'll either have a renewed license or they won't have a license. If they have a license, they can attract financing. And if they don't have a license, the government has already indicated to them, based on our July 2025 letter, that we are prepared to acquire the assets of the Jamaica Public Service, which means that our money is protected fully. So there is no risk to the Jamaican government or the taxpayers. What we have done is skillfully separated a negotiation of a loan and untied from all of these proposals of extensions. I want to point out to you very carefully, any negotiation that involved the license or amendment of license would retard the period of time when we need to get the money. We need to get the money to them or give them a commitment by tomorrow morning after we announce this today, because the cabinet decision is out. And they have committed that they will have 300 linesmen. They now have 170, all in white truck. And big thick man, you see. That's 170. But those 170 are trying to get back the biggest areas of production for the government, Montego Bay. So all the other areas in my friends and colleagues' hard-hit parishes are not getting the attention that they would get. And it's not because of anything other than what has to happen in order to get the country up and running. Can you imagine, members, in 2 weeks' time, 300 more linesmen with equipment, same trucks you see and same everything you say, having 500 linesmen additional to what JPS has as their normal crew spread across Jamaica. The commitment that I'm making to you here, that JPS has committed to me, that they can have those trucks and men here by the second week of December, and that by Christmas morning, Grand Market night, they are committing, especially in the hardest hit areas, to bring back light at the most strategic locations where those that are still affected can come down into and do all that they need to do, even if it is that they don't have light 5 miles up in the hill. Madam Speaker, I am here to say that it is the best win-win situation that a government could negotiate Because if we are to wait until April or May, which means could be in June, depending on what happens, then I don't know what would happen. I can't say what would happen because it wouldn't be pretty. But most importantly, Madam Speaker, is that originally the estimates for the damage, early assessment,
This is,
as JPS
yes,
had said, was between $480 and $600 million.
all right.
As the assessments have continued in more detail, we are down to $350 million, which is a huge difference between the original estimate and what the estimate is. So the question that's going to come is, what happens with the balance of money that's going to be needed?
Check out what to madam.
Hold on.
We're not prepared to go into
Because
that.
when him said a little while is key. It's a key thing him just said a little while. I don't know if you not listen to him. It's listen more on listen to Darrell, you know. Because if you don't listen to Darrell, then you will understand the gaps. Not a bad idea, you know. It's not a bad idea. But there are gaps and there are questions to answer when get uncomfortable when those questions start asked. Because these guys sing to the choir. So when him in a cabinet attack, no dog, no bark, you know. So when he put this across in a cabinet and say, this is the idea, and this is how we do it, it wasn't really interrogated deeply. So at the interrogation catch him yesterday, you know, and him can't answer the questions. Because a critical question that needs to be asked of Mr. Vaz is that if January come and JPS don't have the areas that he expect to have up, is he willing? Is the government willing to put up the additional 200 million US? That is the question, you know.
Okay.
So you have to understand where I'm there. We need the country up, and we have shares in our JPS, and I agree that the government and JPS must work together. So, me not disagree with him. The move is the right move, but you have to now secure the country, and you have to tell you what go on. So, when you have a bill coming down from 600 million, because remember, that's what I telling you a while ago, that this was critical. And there's another critical section up in the earlier part where he said the money, that kind of insurance money there, was wiped out. Because hear the press conference this morning, I was on the road, but information reaching me is that he said that in that OUR thing there is $50 million. There's no money there. He told us earlier up in the same speech that that money has been depleted. You understand? Now, go back to where the bill come from. The bill come from 600 million. And the man them reached 350 million. Now, you know, so the whole of this tight. The whole of it tight. The 600 million was comfortable. Getting the thing done quick and fast. Now, you are pressuring them now to squeeze it down. Because a pressure JPS commander, you know, to bring down the bill to 350 million. So JPS still going to tell you somewhere down the road, you know, somebody tell us that this can't work, you know. You understand? A theme bully style bring down that, you know. So when that come down to 350 mil, and you're only putting up 150 mil, and if we should believe when we hear today that there's another 50 mil, it's 200. So you're still short 150 million US dollars. You're still short 150 million US dollars. It's not $150,000 that, you know. 150 million US dollars at $20 billion. $20 billion. The same amount of government will lend them. 24 billion. Someone want to listen to when them money attack, and when them get interrogated, them get vexed. Me tell you if you stop sing to the choir, this is where you must come take talk and go back to the drawing board. The idea not bad. We know not the idea, so the idea bad. But you have to plan it out right. And at them place they don't need the help. At them place they don't have the skills. At them place the mark holding skill. Use it up. Call a good evening. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Afternoon, Colin.
Yes.
I have a question, you see? And correct me if I'm wrong. Question. JPS JPS 80% shareholder, Jamaica 20% shareholder, right?
Yeah.
How does it become the country's problem of 20% shareholder to lend the 80% shareholder 150 billion or 350 million US dollars? How that become the 20% shareholders problem?
It is
And
the
every
20%.
single time,
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. When you finish, shall I
and
answer.
every single time that the OUR, that JPS goes to OUR for an increase, they get the increase. Where is the money? The
All right.
country and the consumers are already paying for electricity that they are not using and paying for electricity for the one they want to take it.
Mm.
So where's all of this money? Though I understand that the country is obligated to kind of have a little thing to not help out the situation because of the crisis that we're in. How does it now become our sole problem to ensure that JPS does what needs to be done when they're already being paid
All
to
right.
do so?
So JPS is a monopoly, meaning that they are the sole provider of electricity on the island. The island can't come back without electricity. JPS is like your liver, your heart, your kidney. JPS are one of them vital organ there in the country. JPS, Water Commission, your health sector, your security. You understand what I say? There are certain things where we can't do without. JPS is one
Yeah,
of them.
understand.
So,
I understand all of that,
So the government, even if you're not a shareholder, the government rests on JPS doing well. Because one of the reasons why government retain that 20%, and there are those of us who are saying don't sell it because at one point this government, it sounds like they want to sell it. And we have said don't sell it, maintain that 20%. It is a critical, and in some country, them not make private sector own the grid. Government own the grid as national security. That is how vital JPS is to
Colin,
a country.
I understand
to
all of that. I understand all of that. But how does it boil down to us lending them money for them to do a job that they're being paid to do?
All right,
As an 80% shareholder.
There's the matter of license. The government is the authority to give them a license to operate. So the government cannot give them no license to operate. But you must have a public electricity company operating in the country. So the government now said to JPS June of this year, the license for JPS expires in 2027. The government said to them, so right now, we're now going to renew the license under the present condition. Some things have changed because electricity is high in Jamaica. In fact, we have the highest electricity rate maybe in the world in Jamaica. Yeah. So the government has said that have a cut. Now, whose responsibility why it's so high is another thing. But the government has said JPS have a role to play. And if you don't make some changes, we now renew the license. So therefore, we're going to buy out and find another person to come operate it. And that's why you hear Daryl say if them not pay back if them not get back no license, then we're going to buy them out. Now, I have a clip from Philip Powell where I want to play for you because there are some critical
what
questions.
Is the guarantee? Don't you think that JPS saying 6 months would have been more feasible, giving them more wiggle room? Because Daryl said that if you tell people January, they're more likely to say, all right, then yes, something is being done. But what about when January comes and January becomes March, March becomes April, April becomes June, and down the line and nothing is done?
There you go now. That is some of the question now because he might behave like say it's casting a stone and my God and nothing can go wrong.
Exactly.
Nothing That's
can
how he's behaving,
so
pompous, you know.
Right.
And now take no talk. Because
exactly. So
he my God Almighty.
So when him come and when me hear the remarks and say, oh, people were more likely to say, all right, then yes, January lighter come back than 6 months time.
But
I think that's give JPS a wiggle room to make mistakes.
Him said JPS said April to me, right?
Right.
Your ear name speech, him said latest February. Then after February is March, then April. So how much
exactly.
days? 30 days, him saving up maximum
so
60 days.
No wiggle room.
Which is a lot for people who have no current still.
But what Mr. Vaz failed to understand is that Jamaica is a tropical country and have hurricane season for rainfall. And as breeze blow rainfall light gone.
So the time
so you know the JPS no wiggle room to ensure that things is done smoothly. Yeah, give them this box to put them in so that when it is worse when you give people an expectation and you don't meet it.
Huh?
Because
Huh?
realistically,
Tell 'em.
give them the longer wiggle room and let them meet expectation or go above the expectation.
Hey.
So
That
him
is a
now with him
word. You see that
grandstanding,
what you are saying is a word to the wise, you know.
and it is sufficient.
It is
But
a word
his
to the wise, but let me
his
tell you something.
grandstanding in Parliament yesterday did not answer nothing.
He that
It
boasted
was just
himself
yeah,
shall be
they are too
abased.
high-minded. They're too high-minded
Why
and think that just
boast in
because they're
thyself,
government,
no evil man,
they can't take
claiming to be
criticism
smart
or
when
take other
not being
people's
clever?
opinion. So what happens now when JPS does not meet the deadline that he sets for them? They can't pay back the loan because people are not getting back electricity in time. So the bills are not being generated to them. What happens when the loan now is now?
Let me tell you something. Darrell is still enthusiastic, still have some vibe, but you need the wise head of a Mark Golden, Darrell. You needed to have listened.
And you know the worst thing that he said yesterday in Parliament when we realized that he didn't know what he was saying? When he made mention that Mark Golden is speaking from a financial background as if that is an insult.
But that is
wasn't an
where
insult. That was a
where the
compliment.
wisdom was coming from
That was
to
a
him.
compliment. Exactly. That was a compliment.
Hold on, man. I think of Proverbs 14, verse 4. Hold on, man. Because there's a Proverbs, you know, that says where there is no counsel, the people fall. And the next line, I think, said there is safety. Where there is counsel, there is safety. Where there is counsel, there is safety. Where there is no counsel, the people fall.
But where should Mark be speaking from? Which soapbox should Mark be speaking from? Because it cannot be from a personal feelings. It must be from a place of experience and knowledge. So when you're saying that Mark is speaking from a point of view of finance background, that's a compliment because where the money going come from, how much is the risk factor of hustling in JPS $150 million with another $250 million at stake?
Make we talk again because I'm supposed to call Dr. Burgess.
Not a problem. Not a problem, Colin.
We want to talk about the housing, all right?
Okay, cool.
Bless you. It is. Hold on, Dr. Burgess. Hold on for me, caller. Hold on. Hold on for me. We need to talk to Dr. Burgess. You see, let me tell you, you can have a deal, you know, and all good intentions, and somewhere something go wrong, and the time set back. So when you come to the parliament in a that kind of braggadocious style and behaving that you control time and nothing can go wrong, you have to be careful. You have to be careful. So we need temporary housing. That's what they are saying. We need to move some of those people out of the areas where they have been devastated. People are living in water. People are living in swamp. The government has positive view. We have an idea. You have an idea. We have an expert on the line. Dr. Burgess is a PhD. He's also a surveyor and consultant. Dr. Burgess, welcome to the program.
Evening, Colin. No, I'm not a surveyor, civil engineer, but
civil engineer.
Maybe one day I'll try it. Actually, I'll be honest with you. No, I don't want to be a surveyor.
A civil engineer. My apologies. Dr. Burgess, you have expertise in this field. You are very knowledgeable about buildings and what is fit for purpose for Jamaica. Explain to us, though, before we go any further, what these container houses are, because my understanding is that there are many different types of what they call container house. Give us an explanation.
Okay. I think the type that is most relevant to the situation is what they call the foldable container home.
The foldable one.
And not foldable
Yes.
container homes. You know, some of us would have seen on the internet these homes that they pull out of a container and they use a crane and lift it up and it opens up like an accordion and the two ends are pushed out and it gives an enclosed space. You know, you can make a 2-bedroom from it, you can make a 1-bedroom from them, depends on the configuration. There's so many configurations. That is against the second type, which is what I don't think we're speaking about here, which is a modified shipping container, which we do make locally here in Newport West, not me, but others do, which I don't think is on the table. Well, not as far as I know. You know, that's not on the table. These foldable containers have been widely used in the construction
The
sector.
foldable ones, those are the ones that the government is talking about, 5,000 of them.
Yes. As far as I know, that's the one. They're speaking about a range of solutions. Let me be clear, from the different meetings I've been into and what I've heard, a range of solutions. But I think what they're, let's use the word hyper-focused on is the foldable ones that you pull out and it opens out. And, you know, it comes with, depending on what you pay for, you can get it with bathroom and even cut beds, you know, depending on what you pay for. Landed costs here, I hear a wide range of promises from some, but the experience that developers have had here and contractors have had here, because they've used them for site dorms and site offices, is that they usually land at somewhere between $2 and $4 million. You know, the average price being about $3 million.
3 million Jamaican dollars.
Yes.
For that foldable container.
Yeah, because remember, you know, when you buy it from China at whether it's 7 million or 17 million, you know, you have to pay for shipping.
Right.
You have to transport it to the site at a truck crane. It have to go on a foundation and has to be properly anchored. That we wouldn't want to give these people back a lighter building that is just resting on the ground, and then when the next hurricane comes, remember we just had buried last year in some of these areas.
But
so they have to be anchored. When you add all of those things, you start to end up in the $3 to $4 million range per unit.
$3-4 million for the foldable container. The other one now, the real container.
Shipping container, modified shipping container.
Yes. What would that cost?
Those, from our experience, because we have a few for even ourselves, you're talking about in the order of $2 million for a 40-foot. Something that has panels, the floor would have been modified, and you have to remember you cannot use that. You should not be using a modified shipping container without sealing off the walls and the floor, because you can just imagine that a lot of things would have spilled in those containers, some of them toxic.
Right.
And that's a similar concern even with the foldable containers. When you do your research on them, the U.S. institutions are certainly saying that Europeans that they have formaldehyde and other indoor air quality issues from the foam, because it's made from a sandwich panel. And, you know, it's fresh chemicals that would have been used to make this foam, and you need it to be ventilated properly. Otherwise, you have another stuff issues for those that have
so
to
by the time you seal it off and do the flooring, because you have to do the roof as well, and then you buy it, you're saying that you could land that at $2 million.
At least, and again, you remember you have to build a foundation for it. So how we normally deploy it is we build 6 plinths and put them on the plinth and tie them down and anchor them on the plinth. Certainly to resist at least a Category 3 hurricane. Those that we've had, we haven't experienced Category 3, but I think it's safe to say that we've experienced Category 1, which is not very severe, and they've stayed in place. But you have to anchor them down. Otherwise,
Question.
they blow around the place.
The foldable one, can that withstand a Category 5 hurricane?
No. I think the best performance I've seen on the internet is a Category 3 for the frame, and what they're saying in a lot of instances even though the manufacturers, remember, fishermen sell fish.
Yes, yes.
We'll say that category 3, is a frame that can withstand in some instances, but the panels, because they're made of these very light, soft panels,
Yes.
plastic panels, cannot withstand that category 3. It's more in the order of a light category 1. But it depends again on what you get, because you can get anything you ask for.
Listeners, viewers, hold on, Doc. We're talking to Dr. Christopher Burgess. He's a civil engineer, man with a PhD. Knows what he's talking about. So we're talking about the container houses that the Prime Minister said that they're going to buy 5,000 of them. They're going to sell some or whatever. But there's another one, Dr. Burgess, a one that is a little bit thicker. What is that one?
I don't know what you're talking about exactly. Maybe if you explain it to me, I would have an understanding.
All right. So I see the foldable one where you pick up, and then there's one like it have a sheen on the outside, a thick plastic.
Vinyl.
Yeah.
Plastic. Yeah, no, I mean, that's a similar thing, again, made from these panels, the plastic panels.
Yes.
They're very attractive, good for regular use, but the experience when you do the research on them, in the Philippines, they were looking at them, and two major issues came up. The heat issue with those same containers, and the resistance, stability of the panels to withstand the category 3 storms, which they said it couldn't.
So that can't stand a category 3 either.
What's the order?
So that cannot stand a category 3 hurricane either.
In most instances, no.
So let's go to the shipping container now. Can that stand a category 3? Properly bolted down.
I suspect that stands a better chance of withstanding a category 3 if properly bolted down, because those are solid steel panels. But again, it depends on the condition of the container.
Yes.
And this is the thing with using containers. We're speaking about how vulnerable we are, and why I don't like this conversation. Are we very vulnerable or just vulnerable? Why are you speaking about block and steel?
But
because
hold on, Dr. Burgess. I don't want you to rush the interview, Dr. Burgess, because we're going to block and steel.
All right, okay.
We're just looking at the options that are on the table. What are the costs? Right. Because I am going to say to you, Dr. Burgess, that with all the way we are talking about, concrete and steel cheaper, can deliver faster, and can withstand the category 5. But let's
100%. That is 100%. So block and steel, the container is not faster, it is not cheaper, and it is not stronger.
So why we're going there?
You have to get a better explanation. I understand in desperate times we clutch to things and
all right,
make all kind of compromises. Yes.
So, Dr. Burgess, we are suggesting to the government that if you want to help the people, you build them. Let's say somebody where they have a little board house. And no, let me ask you this question before. Somebody in the chat room is asking me to ask you, can you build a board house that could withstand a category 5?
Absolutely, yes.
Talk to us about that.
Yeah, and we've thought about this as engineers, right? And we have a range of solutions that we think the government should be contemplating. One of them, and I'm not going to say it's the first option, is an engineered board house, because PAHO and others have guidelines. PAHO, the Regional Health Organization of the UN,
yes,
have a guideline on making category 5 resistant timber homes or structures.
Yeah.
And it all boils down to the strength of the joints and the size of the lumber. It seems to me as if though our tradesmen have a affinity, a love for 2x4. Like it's the only thing they know.
Yeah.
But there's 2x6, there's 2x8,
2x10,
there's 4x4.
Yeah.
And also when you go to the hardware, you have a right to get number 1 and number 2 grade lumber. Number 1 lumber have few notches in there, and number 2 lumber have a lot of notches in there. Don't take up the one with the old notches. Make the hardware man carry that back or send that back. Unless it is you want number 2 lumber.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can make strong category 5 resistant wood homes, timber homes. That's possible. And one of the solutions we're thinking about is, as I was speaking to the engineer earlier this evening, is why don't we get, it's have to go to the Canadian or the Europeans who build strong timber homes to come and in, for example, Darliston or in Savlamar, build a model home, maybe a model home in each of the major towns of the parishes that were affected in, for example, Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth, and put a model home, a one-bedroom model timber home in the square, that everybody, the tradesmen, can come. Pay the tradesmen, say 10 or 20 tradesmen to come and work with let's call it the master craftsman for a week and build this home, and then let them go back into their communities. And so those who want timber homes can use those same construction, those same joint details, those same timber details.
And nuts and bolts, right? And screw, right. Not nail.
Right. Screws and nuts and bolts.
So, Dr. Burgess, let's go to the good old concrete structure. So we were suggesting that the government maybe could build out a shell, 24 by 12 floor column, deck the top, put in your beams and deck it, and say to a man, say, help yourself from here, sir.
$2 million.
$2 million, and we could deliver 5,000 in 60 days, bring in all the tradesmen. What say you?
Well, what say me? I say read the history. We have an example of this in our recent past. 70 years ago, Hurricane Charlie hit us, 1951, and Bustamante, using a construction company called Marley & Plant, brought block and steel technology to Jamaica.
Bustamante.
Bustamante, Sir Alexander Bustamante.
Yes.
So, and it's coming out of that time that we learned how to build block and steel. That was the response to Hurricane Charlie when 27,000 homes were destroyed, a number which is not very far from the 40,000 homes that are destroyed now.
Right.
So we have an actual example of what a previous government did in the 50s, and I just don't understand why in 2025, rather than block and steel that Buster did introduce, for want of a better way of putting it, we're going back to plastic and containers. But maybe I'm missing something.
Dr. Burgess, it will take US dollars to purchase these 5,000 container homes.
Yes.
And if you're going to deliver it at $4,000, it's 4,000 US, right? 4 million.
Yeah, the 4 million would include the concrete base.
Right, so that's 4 million Jamaican.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to deliver it at 4 million. Then if you deliver it at 4 million Jamaican, and you can deliver that concrete, the structure that we talk about at 2 million, and you can block it round, and you can block it round, and still end up at 3 million. And if you give a man that to live in, he can't live it out. I hear the Prime Minister say in the Parliament yesterday, that some of the container homes will last 2 years and some will last 10 years. Prime Minister, don't do it. Don't do it. We have sand, we have gravel here in Jamaica. We have masons, we have carpenters. Do have mass employment down there in the West. 60 days. Who don't have no land tenure? What can we do, Dr. Burgess, for people who don't have no land tenure? Is there any solution that the government could use?
I was speaking with someone yesterday who was very au fait with land tenure in Jamaica going back several years. And he's an attorney as well, and he raised the salient point. If nobody is disputing that they own the land, then who is having an issue? Nobody's going to dispute that this was your house, that this is where your home was for 50 years or 20 years. If nobody has an issue with the land tenure, why is the government concern themselves for that? We all know that in top Westmoreland, that's family land. We all know in the bottom of Westmoreland, southern part of Westmoreland, yes, that's informal settlement. But listen, all people need the land. We know that some got more and a lot got very little. It's time to settle this land issue now.
Is this a good opportunity for the government to settle some of this land issue?
Yes, and get the surveyors working again. Not that they're not working. Most of them are very busy. But we would get the 60-odd certified block makers working. We would get thousands of masons working and laborers working.
Yes.
You know, we would use our building material. Everything except the steel is right here. Everything is right here.
And we have people who import the steel already.
Right. And we would fuel the local economy. We would grow the local economy. It would make us economically stronger and bounce back quicker. But I wanted to know something. It's 40,000 homes that have been totally destroyed.
40,000.
The number seems to fluctuate between 26 and 40. I don't know where it will end up. They haven't finished the assessment. They have weeks to finish the assessment. But let's use it even 30. These 10,000 plastic homes, container homes, you know, is only answering a third of the problem, you know. They're not faster, they're not cheaper, they're not stronger. When it takes 2 to 3 months to get here, a friend of mine ordered a container load, and the best estimate is 3 months. And you know, Christmas is here, so that might very well
and
be 4
your
months.
friend go and get it faster than the government. Because you know the government have all these procurement guidelines and rate, and when them get it done, people go on about them business.
We just have to look back to Buster. Buster did it in the 50s, and he left us with block and steel after Hurricane Charlie. 27,000 houses destroyed. I'm not certain where we're straying. We have a blueprint. We literally have a blueprint for this.
I hear some people talking about a project called Sites and Services. I wasn't around so long. I mean, you are just telling me about the Buster initiative, but I don't know if you heard about the one named Sites and Service.
I know about Site and Services and Pride, Operation Pride.
Right.
So Site and Services had two variations to it. One was just the infrastructure and the foundation. In some instances in Kingston and St. Andrew, they gave them literally the bathroom on a slab, and you would build out your walls around it and your roof. Now, I think that might be a little bit crude, but I think it's a good start. For me, what I would prefer is a very basic Operation Pride model with a 1-bedroom, with a living room and kitchenette area, which obviously the people will expand. If you want an example, look at Duncan Hills with those steel homes.
Yes.
That some of a certain class in Jamaica chastised and said it was going to turn into this and to that. There are now $80 million homes.
Look
on
at
Duncan
it now.
Hills.
Just look up there when you're passing below Duncan's, it face you. Wow. What Jamaican can do if you give them a start.
Just give them a start. There's one home I see there as the original home. Everyone has expanded that 1-bedroom into 8-bedroom and 9-bedroom homes.
So that 24 by 12 is the perfect start.
I would go even smaller, but you know, roughly speaking, you want somewhere between 308 to 420 square feet. My formula is 1,200 blocks, 5 tons of steel, and 200 bags of cement.
How much steel?
5 tons of steel.
For what?
And I think the people will find their farm ply. I think the people will find their sand and
hold
their
on,
gravel.
Dr. Burgess, hold on a little bit. 5 tons of steel for build what?
The house.
5 tons?
Yes. Remember you have foundation to build, you know.
Yeah, man.
It don't work out to every single thing, you know, because you still have farm, you have props, you have sand and gravel to buy. But I believe if you give them a start, and if you have not a city engineer, but if you have a municipal corporation engineer, you know, checking up on them, you know, you have the engineering regiment with a standard drawing going around and assigned to 40 houses or to 20 houses, and checking up on them, I think you can get them going.
Am I billing? Doctor? I'm just a little bit confused with the 5 ton of steel, because I am of the opinion that if you're building a 24 by 12, a ton, 1.5 ton of in steel should be able to do.
I will give them decking, you know, give them enough steel for decking, you know, the foundation, and the floor also need either BRC or you can put a little steel in there.
The floor with BRC, But in terms of you're doing, even 2 ton. I
Yeah.
don't, maybe 2
But
ton.
when you check up all of that material, you don't get $2 million.
No, I did the material this morning, you know, and the material don't come to $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
If you put on the block on it, let's say you put on 1,000, you might be about 1.2
Yes.
in terms of material, 1.2 million, and then it's tradesmen after that. And if you're
Right.
working with a mass amount of those, you're going to do a lot of them, then you're going to get them cheaper. No, so you go.
Right. And we have over 60 certified block makers in Jamaica using Jamaican limestone, Jamaican sand, Jamaican gravel, Jamaican cement. What else you want? What else you want?
Listen, $2 million, anywhere between
Buster did
two.
it, you know, in 51 and 52, you know.
It's a Buster did it.
Yeah, man.
So Andrew, you can do it.
Buster the builder.
And Andrew, you can do it. So Dr. Burgess, you are not recommending the container homes for Jamaica.
Only on that emergency, like you have them here or them, just off the shores of Cuba, almost in Jamaica. Take them and give them to the people. Right now, some people under trees, some people in cars.
Yeah.
You have elected representatives right now living in cars. You have families up in northern Westmoreland, living under trees in tents under 2 sheets of zinc. Yes. But in addition to that, you have to give them something more substantial to stop this vulnerability.
Yes.
We just had a hurricane last year and roofs were torn off in St. Elizabeth. Here we
Some
are
of those
again.
people didn't even get back on their feet properly.
Well, and the 2026 hurricane season, which the climatologists can see down the road, is shaping up to also be intense. So just imagine if we had this again in 9 months' time.
And that's why I'm suggesting to the government that don't waste no time. Build concrete houses. Use Jamaican builders and Jamaican material. Build concrete houses for the people.
Every single community have a team of builders.
Yes,
certainly.
You better know that.
That is my experience in St. Andrew, St. Thomas. Every little community have 2 masons, a steelman, a team of laborers, 3 carpenters. So, but there you go.
Well, you heard from a civil engineer, man, I tell you, say, listen, let's not waste no time. Ask Dr. Burgess if the government has asked him for his expertise.
They ask him?
That if the government has reached out to you for your expertise on this.
And several of us. They've reached out. So
I don't want to get detail in the advice given, but you are at the same place where you are at now when you speak with them?
Dire temporary use a container, but very quickly give them the block and steel that they need. I think I have the views of several professionals, tens of professionals on this, and we all agree. Some are baffled as to why block and steel hasn't rolled out as yet.
But Dr. Burgess, where we're going with container, it don't make no sense at this stage. Where the people are now, we believe that the people should have been evacuated to places like Bracco Village, places like the Trelawney Multipurpose Stadium. The government should have set up those temporary arrangements already. And those are the places that you should use, because you shouldn't have the people there for longer than 2 months, 3 months maximum. And therefore, you shouldn't spend $4 million in putting in that container house, because the $4 million could have built them the house and have $1 million spent on them to keep them in at the time being. And you'd give them a house that if next year a hurricane come upon us, they are not in the same position.
And build our economy. We have to build our economy in a stronger way.
It is just the right thing to do.
But it can't be a paper economy.
No. We got Berry last year. Melissa this year. So you can't take no chance with next year. You can't do it. You have
Well,
to
certainly,
tell them,
as a
Dr.
private,
Burgess, you have to tell them they can't do it. It's a waste of money. It's more money the government gonna throw down the drain.
and it's our money, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Our money.
Yeah, we shouldn't do it. Somebody should reach out to the government. Get the economy going. You're going to do the cleanup. You're going to put in these buildings. You're going to start drive back economy in those places. Give the people down there hope. Give them hope. Make the little person who have them shop where you help them put up them shop start sell right away at a good pace. The government pumping in $20 billion into the West. Because it really, if you look at it, it went cost somewhere about 50, 60 billion Jamaican dollars to get back the people to where they were before. What do you think, Dr. Burgess?
Yes, I agree with you. We need to get this block and steel thing going, I think, and even precast homes and
Yeah,
the
if you
other
have them
solutions. Like
precast walls, they come in with them.
you have cast in place. There are at least 10 developers using poured concrete homes that have the formwork here. If those persons were engaged 2 weeks ago, you'd have about maybe 300 homes on the ground already.
Yeah.
That could resist any category 5. Instead, a lot of those developers, I know some of them are actually down in St. Elizabeth and in Westmoreland delivering lumber and food and water.
But
That's not the best use of their time.
No, man, we have to get going. We have to put in concrete houses for our people. Colin asked Dr. Burgess about the foam concrete. What about that, Dr. Burgess, the foam concrete?
I don't want to venture into the novel right now because I see where the local economy with block and steel can be energized and pumped up with block and steel. Foam concrete is a novel option in instances where you have a team of developers or contractors that can deploy it. I've seen it being used in Trelawney. I've seen a few homes in Trelawney with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think now is the time to be novel. Again, we have the blueprint of this from Hurricane Charlie.
Yes.
Was that introduced block and steel, and it worked, and it has been with us. I think 80% of the homes in Jamaica are made from block and steel.
Of
and
course.
That is coming out of Hurricane Charlie.
And they show that they can withstand the test of time when you in your block and steel in your deck roof. Yeah. Hurricane come, you button on your window and relax.
Exactly. Buster did it.
Yeah, man. Well, Dr. Burgess, if you have anything to add, finally.
I think we need to look to the rebuilding stage and not get distracted with these container homes. I think our people need water quickly. You can see the leptospirosis outbreak happening. Let's turn to sustainable rebuilding. Let's solve the land tenure issue. Let's give our people the land that they deserve from, the old post-emancipation era. It's time to just restore this. This is an opportunity. As the Prime Minister said, or a minister said, it's now into waste a crisis. Let's use this crisis to solve some of these issues.
Let's come out better.
Yeah, come out better. Let's not contain and not waste our moving needle.
No.
Peace and love, Colin. I won't leave you.
Thank you, Dr. Burgess. It's a pleasure talking to you, my brother. Thanks for your expert advice. My people, I want to hear it. I did the workings. Yeah? And remember, me never had a block it round. Me I say, give a shell. You're going to help all who you can help. Give a shell. Column, flooring, decking. And when we calculate it, it's 1.5 ton of half-inch steel we are use. And we are use 1/4 ton of 3/8 steel. A roll of binding wire whereby 20 sheet of ply and 20 length of 1x3 lot. 1x3 16. Yeah? We are by 200 bag of cement. We are by the electrical pipe them and we are by the water pipe them. Yeah? So, For cast the decking, you need 9 sheet apply. And then we'll use the next 11 sheet, make boxing. For box up your column, then box up your beam them. And you can use them multiple times. And let me tell you something. 30 days maximum, you have that. 30 days, you have that. You can have it in a 21, you know. You can have it in a 21 days. We can give it to you in a 21 days for you start putting your side in and all of them something. Because some people can find little something, you know. And if you even put, if you start as you put ply in that, it's still a stand the hurricane once you ribs it up properly. Because we have put 8 column in it. So we now give you no long span. Solid as you want it. If you want block it up, you block it up. You want to use concrete ply, you use concrete ply. And when you're ready, you add on pan that and go all upstairs. $2 million to $3 million. The prices will vary. Depends on the area where you build it pan. If you build it pan a level area, it's cheaper than if you build it with a little slope where you know, say you have to go higher with somebody. So listen. Listen to me, people. Bother with the container. Drive the economy. Put people in the area. Eight 804-7072. Caller, good evening.
Yes, good evening, Colin. Great program that you're having.
Oh, thank
but
you.
But on 2 issues, I'm going to go back to the Darrell thing. For this container housing thing, it would be cheaper to use the to do the concrete model instead of the containers.
Cheaper and
because
quicker.
Apart from just bringing the containers from China, we have to be honest. China has a history of selling mediocre things, using anything to make anything. We see it with toys, where after a while toys are recalled because they have lead, they have all kinds of chemicals that are in these things. So one has to be mindful of what it is that they're getting from China and stop just saying we're getting it from China because it is cheaper. In the like we say in Jamaica, the cheapest always become the dearest.
Yeah,
it's going to be a more expensive
Pennywise
in the long
and
run.
pound foolish.
Yes. And the thing is, this is a government with a history of squandering money. And I hear you and Ralston talk all the time about you're entitled to your own opinion, but to not to your own facts, because the facts you can stray from the facts. But let's just go back to the Darrell issue for a second. He thought that he was disrespecting the opposition leader when he talked about him coming with his finance background. But it's that finance background that would lead the opposition leader in reading his the minister's statement to say, but hold up a second, this is not feasible, because he reasoned it out to a logical conclusion and came to the decision that you have to be careful what you're doing here. Where is this $150 million coming from? And who lends any organization, entity money without them first putting forward their money? I don't know of it. I stand corrected on that.
Caller,
but it does not make sense. Yes.
Let me say this to you. I don't have a problem with the government lending JPS the money. But how they're lending the money leaves much to be desired. Because you don't want to give money to do a business that you know say the business need $350 million for putting out the business before it start make profit, right? Or before the business can start run. You give him 150 without knowing if him can find the next 200. Then when the business go halfway and stuck, you're 150. Gone down the drain.
It's gone down the drain.
Because you can't beat the money because the business don't come off, And you didn't know say at 350 need.
But here's the problem, Colin, is that this is a government with a history of hemorrhaging money. And the opposition leader is put in the parliament to help stop the bleeding. And they seem not to care. And they have a credibility problem. They're morally bankrupt. They lack ideas. And you just have to call a spade a spade. Because remember now, if you can go as far back as you would like in this administration, this is the third
their third go around. But you can look at Beryllium Regional, aka Cornwall Regional Hospital. That's just bleeding money left, right, and center. Okay, you can look at the as recently as the other day, 1.5 billion spent on old buses, but you bought 100 new garbage trucks. Make some sense. So there are recent things that you can use, as examples to say, hold up a second, you're not making wise decisions. You're not spending taxpayer dollars wisely. And also go back to the Auditor General's report, where trillions of dollars are unaccounted for. And no one seems to care that there's no accountability in the government. So when you have the opposition, and then another thing too, when the prime minister gets up and says that the government is doing, where people ask, where's the government? We opened the airport. Is he supposed to get a medal of honor for making sure the airport is accessible? That makes no sense. He's supposed to have the airport open. That's a duty of the government. The
Listen,
government ought not to be patted on the shoulder for doing their jobs. Period.
listen,
Full stop. But I'm so finished. But I do believe
on
that
Carnival.
if they come off the arrogance, if they come off the arrogance, because the government is too arrogant, if they lose the arrogance, listen to the opposition, because clearly, if you watch the PAC meeting the other day, clearly they're flying by the seat of their pants.
Yeah, man.
Because there was no preparation.
I don't know
before
if
the
nobody
hurricane.
informed the Prime
After the
Minister
hurricane,
about that PAC meeting. Nobody not tell the Prime Minister about it. They might hide him from
No,
they might hide it from him.
but they have to, because it was so enlightening to see persons with the skill sets necessary to ask the questions, but they removed the expert from the ODPIM chair and
Yes.
put in their loyalty person who's loyal to them, that's not his wheelhouse. And the thing is when opposition leader Golin spoke yesterday and Darrell came after him, what Darrell needs to understand is finance is not Darrell's wheelhouse. That's not his skill set.
No, but if
So
Darrell
allow
did
the people
understand
with their skill
finance,
set to
you
do
would
it.
hold on. If Darrell had the
Yeah.
wherewithal, you couldn't come to the parliament, come tell him, say you approve a loan without an
No.
interest rate.
No, absolutely not. But who does that? But you know what?
You understand?
Colin, they have a history of doing it and getting away with it and no accountability. And every time you say something to hold them accountable, what does he say? You're bad man.
Yeah, man.
That language should not be in the parliament. That is playground language.
But
You're on
you
the playground to do that. But in parliament, elevate the conversation.
The opposition needs a whip in the parliament. Somebody have to take up the whip position. Because when you have a man like Darrell Vaz a bully you in the parliament. Now, in the parliament, you must remember, anything you say, they can't sue you, You need a whip in the parliament. You need somebody in the parliament who will just say what needs to be said. The mic now have to open, because whether the mic open or not, all the parliamentarians hear everything what they each other say, Them don't need the mic to hear each other,
Not at all.
So you need the whip in the parliament.
Ignorance. Yeah, they cannot let allow brute force and ignorance to win the day. Because when the prime minister was getting up and talking is nonsense. Here is the truth. What he's basically saying to the Jamaican people and to the members of parliament who are experiencing it on the ground, do not believe your lived experience. Believe what I am telling you. And I'm going to leave you with that. Have a good evening, Colin, and keep up the good work. Blessings every time.
This is the Colin Bell Show, 876-804-7072. Darrell Vaz, Mark Golden, and also something I tell you I have from Philip Palwell, where I want to understand and get this. Listen to Philip Palwell.
Opportunity to call upon the government to immediately.
Hold on.
I'm using this opportunity to call upon the government to immediately come clean to the Jamaican people regarding this controversial loan of 24 billion Jamaican dollars being extended to the Jamaica Public Service Company, and also its handling of the license negotiation. We have major concerns about this government's decision to extend such a loan in the absence of critical details. The government has failed to answer questions about the risks to taxpayers, the valuation of the company's assets, and the interest rate attached to the loan. No responsible government can commit 24 billion Jamaican dollars of taxpayers' money without stating the interest rate or the terms that protect the public's interests. Based on the government's own disclosure, if the loan is not repaid within 2 years, the government intends to convert the debt into equity. If the plan is to convert unpaid debt into shares, what is the current valuation of the assets the government will be acquiring? Has this valuation been completed, and at what date? I also want to know whether or not the JPS will be able to secure funding for the balance of US 200 million that it claims is required for full restoration of service. And I am demanding that the government disclose which state agency will disburse the funds for the loan. I believe that the government, in providing this loan to the company, should use it as leverage to secure meaningful concessions from the company. I'm therefore recommending the temporary suspension of JPSCO's monopoly on transmission and distribution during periods of national emergencies. For example, to allow neighbors with functioning solar or alternative generation to supply nearby households legally. I also believe it's a good time now for the government to enable those operators in special economic zones to generate and distribute their own electricity internally, reducing costs and accelerating economic recovery. The government's poor handling of the issues surrounding the JPSCO license is another reason for the instability that the company faces and why it cannot on its own secure funding for the full restoration. We have been urging the government since 2023 not to wait until 2027 to negotiate essential changes to the JPSCO license. There is no magic to that date. Licensing terms can be amended at any time, and we have wasted valuable years when leverage was available. We are also very concerned that the JPSCO, which has already hinted at major electricity price increase, will seek to pass on unreasonably price increases to the consumers. I am therefore urging the OUR to be proactive to ensure that there is a transparent process in determining the rate that consumers ought to pay during this period. The opposition stands ready to support any responsible and a transparent strategy to restore electricity swiftly and strengthen Jamaica's energy resilience, but will not support decisions that burden the Jamaican taxpayer.
Yeah, man, good evening. About what? Well, when him said 24 hours, they never mean that. That was just an exaggeration. Well, we still need them to identify which part the other money are come from. Because if it's $350 million that is needed to fully restore the grid to make everybody get back power, then you need to identify the other sources of funds. We hear him saying at a press conference today that he identify the other source that the money might get another 150 million from the OUR.
150 from the OUR?
Yeah.
Or 50?
It's a kind of confusion. First into 150 and 50. So the shortfall then is because you couldn't.
But Raleigh, even with the 50 from the OUR, him saying that the statement we make yesterday, you know, that the OUR money has been depleted, you know. Him said that when he started talking about JPS, him said that in about the first 2 minutes.
Well, I went for conclusion because one time he said 50 leave. So even if you get the 50, make we assume that.
Right.
You're still short of $150 million.
No.
Yeah, so we know that. Yeah.
No, the question I hope somebody would have asked Darrell Vaz Is the government ready to put in the next 150 if when you reach to a stage the money done? Because remember, the money I come from 600 million, you know.
All right. So the point I make to you is that we know say in not to, certain way. So in economics, there's a concept that we call indivisibility of units. Yeah? Which means that if you have a train service, you can't have a train line. So if you have a fully restored grid, you can't have half a grid. So you have to identify the rest of the money if you have a fully complete the grid. It's like enough time you go around and you say houses reach halfway, the block them gone up, and it might flash out and empty them, but then can't go no further. It means that they run out of money.
Yes.
So with something as serious as power, that we're talking about indivisibility of units, you have to make sure you have all of the money for complete, because so how them all do? So in those certain areas, the industrial areas, and the money run out. The same poor people where you talk about, a comfort, they might end up without light. You follow me? If the money run out and I get the additional money. We don't say not to them on certain levels still are more arrogant and irascible, but those are the things that we're talking about. Yeah.
But Raleigh, the idea of bailing out JPS ourselves is not such a bad idea, is it?
No, because we cannot restore the economy without power. So the gaslighting the way I come with that talk about wicked and rare, that's a total nonsense.
Yeah.
We did a higher level concept, because if you don't have enough money to complete the job, it means somebody will get left out.
Yes.
And it would be stupid to give consumers the light and restore businesses, because consumers depend on business to make their money.
Yes.
So the same poor people who might talk about, and them all get left out. And that is why we must ensure that we have all of the money. Simple as that.
Because if you don't have all of the money, the thing now go finish.
No.
And I'm saying, Raleigh, I'm putting it to you that the $350 million is a very conservative figure. And in my opinion, is a figure that JPS gave under pressure.
Yep, precisely.
Because
it don't need more money.
If your first figure was 600 million and you cut that by almost 50%, no, me do business too. Me know business. And a little man in the chat, hold on. A little man in the chat room will tell me, say, it will take a year to put up a 24 by 12 concrete house. You're crazy, man. That's when you're not money.
You don't know about building.
That's when you're going there without them. That's when you need $2 million to build that. And you only have 500,000.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Man.
So it can't done.
Indivisibility of units. That's a concept we want to teach them now, because they don't understand them things.
If you have your money at 24, go ahead, Raleigh.
Even in commercial terms, if a bank say I'm give you 90% of a mortgage, if you can identify that at 10%, them not give the money.
You're gonna have to spend that first.
Yeah.
You can't get it.
Yep, you not get the money. Yep.
The first also me bill like NHT money me use. And say you have to bill and get money. When we get the first piece of money, me that floor level. Because me have some money. The same money with NHT say you have to have. So from NHT say your loan approved, me go so RUPS, foundation, cast up, foundation, steel up, black up to floor level. When the inspector from NHT come look for my building, him just have to sign off, cause more money than what them all give me did they already.
Yeah, man, that's the point. So that's a simple concept like that. Just as simple as that. Yeah.
They don't understand.
The kind of erratic behavior and the gaslighting and the gangster behavior, that can substitute for answering the question. And by the way, how the system runs, because apart from the fact that financially and in every other area, the people won't say he might defend or get left out, because it will be stupid for your money run chart and fix the commercial areas, because the people who are going to work, they have to work with the commercial areas to get money. So if the money run out of them, will get inevitably left out. But the additional point is that Parliament is not supposed to be a rubber stamp for cabinet. So them to come to Parliament and discuss in the Parliament and Parliament vote on it. You can't come to Parliament with a fait accompli. And then when the opposition leader talk to you, you're going like you're a gangster and the man I eat that. We don't respect them today. It's more like we move towards a totalitarian state. If you ask a question about anything cabinet say and come to Parliament, you better rubber stamp it and make it go through.
But not that's how the rally.
Democracy. That's not democracy, and I am surprised that the so-called well-thinking Jamaicans them have a problem with that.
But who is the opposition whip in the Parliament, Raleigh?
Sorry?
Who is the opposition whip in the Parliament?
The opposition is a part of the government. The opposition have 28 seats.
No, man, but when I say who is the whip? The opposition is supposed to have a whip on them side, a man
Yeah,
where
but
we deal with all the money.
Yep. But we're not seeing nobody.
And that me I said the opposition, we need to see the whip.
Yep.
Because somebody, when him attack, somebody need to tell him what time of day it is.
Yeah, man.
As I was reminding the listeners a while ago, that not what you're saying at the parliament and can't sue you for, you know.
Yep.
You are protected. So when all the money I get on the IR, somebody if it just juke him on the ribs and say, hey boy.
Yeah, man. I know so you know dep on certain level. You get what I said?
Yeah. So the opposition whip need to start showing himself or herself.
Yeah, man.
Raleigh, how we stay upon the dollar today? We know so the bank intervened today with mapping up what 18 billion you told us yesterday.
Yeah, man, and them get 32 billion and the dollar still slide. We're going down to make sure you get the right figure. We don't deal with both of us.
So they wanted 18 billion. They got 32 billion oversubscribed.
Yeah, and the dollar still slid. We're down to 160 to 128 now. From 160 to 112 yesterday.
So where we going tomorrow?
Well, I expect them to intervene tomorrow because after 3 days of slide, despite the mapping up, they have to go do something. Yep.
Christmas is coming, so there's going to be more pressure on the dollar. Isn't that so?
Christmas is coming, and there's more pressure. That's a normal pressure. Then there's the pressure caused by Melissa where you have to import more of everything. Imports have to go up. You have to import capital goods. You have to import tractor. You have to import truck. You have to import more food. You have to import more spare parts. All of them things that could drive it up. And then there's the one related to confidence where even yesterday, that sent another signal because after 4 weeks, now, we don't hear nothing from the finance minister and the minister of energy almost take over the portfolio of the minister of finance because she was the one who was supposed to pilot that. The prime minister said we'll hear from her next week. So, I mean, she's like a substitute on the team. So all that leads to a lack of confidence, which helps to pressure the dollar.
So the prime minister says she will come on Tuesday. What do you expect? The prime minister says she will address the parliament on Tuesday of next week.
After a full month.
What do you expect from her?
Well, we expect a comprehensive statement as to how much money we get already, how much money we receive, whether them approach the IMF or not, what is it that shall discuss with the IDB, what is it that shall discuss with the World Bank, what is it that shall discuss with the Bankers Association, how shall I help the small business them to be rehabilitated. We expect to hear from her what is the interest rates on the JPS loan because I know we still not hear about that. Where the rest of the money will come from, them kind of details that we expect to hear from her. What is the debt to GDP ratio?
What is the what?
Debt to GDP ratio. What is the projected unemployment that we talk about, the projected unemployment rate? We expect to hear all of those things. All of those things fall under her portfolio.
We and Henry said last quarter, 2026, we should start seeing growth again. Where's that going to come from?
Well, it depends on what they do now.
Yes.
So the Minister of Finance must tell you all of that in a national economic recovery plan.
So you are expecting on Tuesday that she's going to tell us how we're going to start growing the economy, firing on 7 cylinders instead of 14?
I don't expect that.
You don't expect that?
No, I'm not confident there.
But if that not come,
that's how weird for what she said. But me not confidence now. She not do not seem to my confidence.
But if that not come, Raleigh, we have problems. So the technocrats around her, including and we're adding the prime minister to that, should ensure that she come with a full plan of how we're going to ramp up production.
That's what they should. But as me I say, I don't expect that. So I just have an open mind because I don't have no confidence in none of them because them preside over the rubbish that take place right now. And them still take too long without if them can correct the mistake what they make. So we just wait and see.
People, economic class 25.9. Them do what?
They might do the same thing over and over again, not change. Yeah? So just wait and see.
I think while the Prime Minister was in South Africa, he said they met with the IMF. You heard that?
No, but hold on. Let me explain something. That's our next rubbish. When the IMF people got them conference there, you know, have a detailed discussion about plans and programs. Them are them consider just to make speeches and them things. So get the thing going, you have to go at the man them in Washington and them have to send people come down here. So nothing substantial that take place in South Africa with them. That's how that's.
So you expect the finance minister to go to Washington in short order?
Well, we expect that. We think she'd have gone already from day one. And we think the IMF team would have come here already from day two. We know the process operates, you know.
What will happen first? She have to go first and then the IMF team come?
Yeah, and do them assessment and them thing and then them sign off.
Or can she invite them without going? She has to go?
No, well, she can invite them to come down, but normally when they do them thing, they go to Washington. That's the normal principle where Peter Phillips, Omar Davies, all of the men who know how the system operates.
Nigel Clark.
Nigel Clark. You go check the man them and have a discussion and then
the man
you
them
make a formal request. It's a process and then them send them team come down and then team come down and talk to Bank of Jamaica, talk to PIOJ, talk to the private sector, talk to the trade union and do a full assessment of the damage and then you sign off on a staff agreement.
Right.
So them things can't take place at the conference of the Prime Minister going to South Africa. We know the process, so the Prime Minister can't tell them foolish.
So why are they doing that rally?
CMPR, to look like them and do something and them not do nothing. Yeah.
That should have question there. Let's go to serious matters. The other day we were saying that the government should spend some money and get people out of the area, do certain things, and people are saying that the government have no money. The government, Mark Golden said that the government should have give each MP $50 million. They said that the government not have it. How then the government find from the consolidated fund 150 million US?
Good question. But it means that because of the importance of the power, we operate an energy-intensive economy. So they would have stretched themselves to find that because you can't do nothing unless you restore the power. So all of the choices them who believe so we are fight. We know common sense, economics. You can't do nothing unless you restore the power. So they might say, boy, they might make that sacrifice to get the power up and running because you can't get back the economy on track, an energy-intensive economy without power. It's a sacrifice, they might make to do that. And that is why they must make sure they have all of the money that the thing not flop.
But could it be that the government might have to find all $350 million, Raleigh?
Well, that is what we don't want, and that is why we need the minister to tell we.
But wasn't that the question? Wasn't that the question that should have asked in the parliament yesterday if the government was willing to put up the extra 200 million if JPS, if the $150 million can't make it?
That is where I figure that's where the money was going, and that's why I'm coming with him gaslighting and erratic behavior, so that the questioning couldn't continue. But that should be the question. And that would be unfair for the man them from Korea Southeast and all of them places who own the company, 80% of the company. Yeah. And then we have to find all of the money for rehabilitation. That's not fair.
But that is the question we want to put to Darrell Vaz this evening.
Yeah.
Would the government be willing to put up the additional $200 million if push come to shove and the 150 can't carry through?
Yeah. Correct. I want them to know, sir, the whole part loud talking and them today and the gangster business. We're not afraid of that because the whole way are gangster. So no matter with that. Yeah? Answer the question then. Yeah?
And questions leave unanswered in the parliament still needs to be answered.
Because you might talk to Diana right now, they might try to load her up on them thing there. Yeah, the kind of behavior they want to tell him, say, we don't respect and accept them thing there. You might talk to Diana right now, you might go like him and load her up. Them man have to know, say, all the way are gangsters, so we're not afraid of nobody. So
and go on and they can just push over people with them bullies him. Answer the question or take for yourself if you don't want to answer.
Yep. See, they have to cut him off now because I'll be this might try this up and I load her up on the radio.
Oh, what you said to me?
I have to understand himself, man, and behave himself, man.
Listen, the Jamaican people need to stand up. Let me hear if Marsha have a question for you.
See, the other tell him that you can't ask questions without them say a bad mind and a shout fire. See, the same thing my boy do there. What to make that you know say, yo, be yourself, man.
No. Too much arrogance.
Yeah, man.
Them power junk. They are drunk on power.
Yep. Same question the other ask him, I'm not answer. I'll go out with the same arrogance. You see me I say loud up talking and way.
It's a sad day. It's a sad day.
Yeah.
It's a sad day, Raleigh.
Yeah, so she have to terminate the interview. And that's in Monday I go on with. I want to tell you, brother.
So she cut him off?
Yeah, man, interview done because I'm not answer the question. I'm just allowed her up when I go on the loud business. The same thing when going in the parliament yesterday. I won't think him in.
Let me hear what Marshy have to ask you. Hold on. Marshy.
Yeah, evening, Ralston.
Yep.
What would I like you to do? Where friend name? Can't
Cassie?
I send name?
Yes.
Now that Ralston is on, you have him number. Call him, make him come and challenge Ralston. No?
Them can't challenge nothing, man. Them
No, we
deaf,
still want it.
them deaf,
Because-
dumb, blind can't challenge nothing. No matter with
and
that,
everything.
Marshy.
But with Daryl Vaz now, I want to say this.
Mm.
All who don't know say Daryl Vaz idiot, you know. Them idiot. You didn't know say Daryl Vaz idiot?
Marshy. No.
Oi.
No, me never know.
You never know.
No.
So what you want to tell me? Say you idiot?
No.
And you are Ralston and get it right so often? Eh?
Marshy, me soon call you back. I'll call me back in a bit. Let me don't talk to
Me
Ralston.
want Cassie come, man. Me want him come.
Let me
and
don't
come
talk to
challenge
Ralston
me.
so me can open the phone line.
All right.
Rally, I don't know
Marsh.
Yeah, man. I would have said that he left to behave himself, man, and stop him all for foolishness. Because it does make him look very stupid. Because we have to deal with matters in an intelligent way. Arrogance can't work.
Yeah, it's a serious time now.
Yeah.
It's a serious time now. It's not time
Yeah,
for
man.
incompetence
Yeah,
and
man.
dunceness. If you have an idea, because to try sort out GPS to get them to do the work, it's not a bad idea. But
No.
it must be done properly. You might come up with the idea, but you don't know if you do it right. Darrell, you don't know if you do it right. So that's why Mark show you say, we have to know where the next 200 are come from. A job can't cost 350,000. And because you give a man 150,000, you have to tell him, say, that must do the job.
No.
And that's how it go.
You will leave the man halfway or quarter way, and that's it. The same poor people where him say my defend, and them all get left out because it would be stupid to start the grid and not fix the industrial areas them. Because the people have now have no work to go. You have to fix the place for the commercial, the hotel and where and do them things as a matter of priority.
But you
So
put
when
up the grid and the
run out
people
and
have not have no
poor
house to
people
live in.
them- Yeah, same poor people who get left out. I'm mad, Mr. Madam. So we need to identify the full funding before you start.
Boy.
And we need to know what is the interest rate. Oh, you lend out money and you don't know what rate of interest. I don't know your money. You might go like say a fee money and I talk about him willing to sign check last night and all
Yeah.
them.
Them the kind of talk there.
Yeah, man.
But Ralston, one of the things that concerns me, the first amount of money GPS asks for, them said the estimate of the damage is $600 million US.
So we need to ask you, Grant, how come the thing dropped
Yeah.
from 600 million to 250 million?
How their first estimate was so bad. Their
Right.
first estimate was so off.
So that's a relevant question. You, Grant, need to answer that question.
It's like,
and whether him come down to the 350 under duress. We need to know.
exactly, because I like, we're not glad to say it come down, you know. But
Yeah.
we don't want it come down under a bushel. And when
Yeah,
you
man.
open the bushel, it way up.
A peer problem. Yep.
No.
So we need to know. Yeah, man. 100% I agree with that.
Raleigh, somebody need to find out from the government if they are prepared to put up the whole of the money. The other
Yeah, man.
question is that if them have somebody ready to buy GPS. Because the
Good
behavior
question.
is like, the how they are behaving, it's like you have somebody ready to take it.
Mm-hmm. And I tell you still, in today's global environment, yeah, and give one thing when not factor, given the state of the Jamaican economy right now, you know, I don't have no man who are run up and down and ready to buy GPS right now. So that would be a remarkable flagrant error, given what is happening globally and given what is happening in the Jamaican economy with the devastation and given what takes place in Jamaica in terms of power, yeah, in terms of abstraction or thieving of electricity.
Yes.
You know, I don't have no man who run come buy GPS right now. May I tell you that? I'm a challenge anybody for challenge that. No really serious company. Yeah. So that's to know how you deal with the man them. Arrogance can't work.
Raleigh,
Yep.
thanks for the time, my brother.
Yeah, brother, every time.
We
yeah,
talk.
man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Cool.
Might pass
All right,
through
blessed.
tomorrow.
Yeah, man. All right, blessed. Cool.
My people, that serious time we in a year. Arrogance, no work. You have to know where you do. Marie,
Yes. Good evening. Masasa Rasta and Gone thing. Because what I wanted to ask you, see, that idea that Paul will put forward that now that JPS need money from us, right? This was a good opportunity for the government to renegotiate and get some concessions from JPS. You understand
You
me?
see,
Regarding certain factors that would benefit the Jamaican consumer. What you say, Colin?
one other thing I want to ask Daryl, because Paul will keep saying that you know have to wait till 2027 to renegotiate the license. You
Yes.
can renegotiate the license. No, you can
Mhm.
you could have renegotiated the license already, because what Paul will told us in an earlier interview, I think it's in September, early October, that at the PNP one they would have called JPS to the table right away and renegotiate the license. So that's what Paul was saying in Parliament yesterday, that that 2027 is not a magic year, that you have to wait
Yes.
until that time. But it don't seems
Yes.
like Daryl understanding that at all.
Exactly. There's arrogance. And when Paul well, if I one thing Paul will understand is the energy sector.
Oh,
Because he's
yes.
been there from like time immemorial. You understand me? So if Darrell shut him out, like arrogance little bit, he probably would learn something. And then another thing to Colin that I heard you say, I don't understand, you see, the Jamaican politics with certain things. Like Rossan said it, how can one side just go into any negotiation regarding like funds like that? And you just do carte blanche, you just sign off a blank check, and you never have no consultation with the other side. Is that how that happen? Make that make sense?
But you see, when the thing come up for discussion, it couldn't stand up to scrutiny. That's why Daryl behavior start get that way, because him just want done the argument. When you don't have the capacity to argue, yeah, like an argument, and like we will love argue. So we want the questions. And that's why I want people all the while. Stop singing to the choir. Stop preaching to the choir. You must welcome criticism. You must welcome contending view, because that's how you know if your plan is soundproof.
Yes. Yes. And then, yeah, the arrogance, is like you must say, well, watch out whether you like it or not, the check a sign off on tonight. Them kind of way.
Done.
Even though.
Argument done. That's what the man
Yeah,
say.
argument done. Yeah, him use that argument done. How could you say that? That was total disrespect. Mark had a right to question, the veracity. How, of the loan, what got happen, how this got happen. Like you say, what if JPS, like Russell say, what if part owner can't carry through? What got happen to the Jamaican taxpayers' money?
That's what
right
Mark
now,
Golden wanted
already,
to know.
Right now, I'm saying, and it done already, I mean, an argument, called a check a draw tonight. That was too arrogant and bad behavior. And Darrell need for wheel and come again. Him too out of order. I mean, look at him take 1.4. Remember I asked you something, Colin, even though this is a JPS thing. That $1.4 billion, where did buy them bus there? That did go through any process, or them just take $1.4 billion out of the consolidated fund or wherever I'm getting it from and just go buy them all bus there. Oh, that did go, Colin?
Because it never come to the parliament.
Exactly.
Never come to the
Here's a
parliament,
$1.4 billion spent.
Yes.
And like from Daisy magazine say, them track record is so bad, Colin, because although when I get the rest of the car them from Bobby 400 million, sweetheart,
Oh, Lord.
them car them up from it,
Oh, Lord,
you understand
remember me when I go down on my knees to pray.
Yes. We don't get that yet, and all the bus them. So Darrell, have a leg to stand on when it come on to probity. You need to take a seat and and listen. And then have the nerve to berate Mark about fiscal. It's because of Mark's fiscal prudence why Mark is able to come up and ask those questions.
He's speaking from a financial background. He's right. Mark speaks from a financial background. What background does he speak from?
Exactly. And then again to Colin, like see, if you are gonna borrow money from somebody, and them say a $20, but if you say, if your parents say, Mama, I want to go out, and a $20 my pay, she gonna ask where you get, your father gonna ask where you get the next girl, where you get the next $10 from, don't it? And now send you out of the house without him know where the next $10 come from.
If you are going to get a loan from the bank to buy a car, there's a 5% that you must find, and you have to pay that first.
Yes.
You have to pay that first before the bank release their part of the money.
You see, them take the Jamaican people for fool, and because of politics and we're so polarized sometimes, Colin, because the millions them over there, I be rate and a cuss mark and all of that, and like him too fast, and the opposition have too much talk. Me want to see them live in our country where them don't have the talk and see other go to Korea since you don't want to live in our country like that. Me don't want to live. The
Them
opposition
can't
have
help the
talk.
country right now doing a marry. Right
Eh?
now, the GLP vloggers and trolls and bloggers now have nothing to offer to the country right now. Because
Exactly.
they can't take on none of the argument we are going now. So they're getting at people and calling people names and all of that. Come deal with the argument, the matter at hand. Meeting is now called to order. This is the matter.
Yes.
We have one matter to
Yes.
discuss. One matter
New
only.
business.
The restoration
New
of
business.
Jamaica after Hurricane
Exactly.
Melissa.
This is the big disaster. And like Rostan say, well, the Prime Minister, you go South Africa, got brown nose. I don't know. To me, that is what I'm saying. Colin, you say you agree with him going.
I agree
For me,
with him
I just think
going.
he went on brown nose.
He ought to go and talk up to the people them because
Yes.
listen, friendship matters. Who
Yes.
you know
Yes.
and who you meet face to face, one on one
Yeah, and your
matters.
linkages.
So I
Yes.
believe that the Prime Minister had a responsibility to go out there, rub shoulders with the world leader, the leaders of the G20, talk to them about what happened in Jamaica, because I also believe that they are responsible. Places like the United States, places like China, India, those countries are responsible to help us build back because of them really damage the environment. I know we, I know we. So I agree with him going.
Yes. But it look him they just go on another like PR thing. I don't know. Him did berate Portia and say she go Africa.
I'm gonna tell you
and she not come
I'm gonna
back
tell you something. Anything you hear Andrew say the first time, don't take it serious. Because Andrew not think off the bat.
Yeah.
And when me say that, all who want vex because I can prove it. Me can show you many instances where Andrew said no, yes sir, and 2 weeks later I say yes. Me can show you many instances where Andrew put down something, it can't happen. And in a short period of time, he go right back to the exact thing.
But you understand? Them get ignorant too quick between him and Vaz. Them get ignorant too quick.
And I'm begging the opposition, don't make the Prime Minister frightened. Because that is a Vaz style.
No.
Them talk loud and I go on like them right.
Yes. Stand up and like, you want to go and shut down people.
Might.
These are different.
Them I use might, I try to beat right.
Yes, wrong and strong.
The man tell the Prime Minister said the recovery is being politicized, and I try to tell him say no. With the loud voice.
Well, the wrong and strong thing, more on the opposition, you stand up and you put your points forward. You have take with valiant points and relevant points. You stand up and you talk now because you are talking for the Jamaica. And I see somebody in your chat, Colin, look, I can get paid for come over your thing this evening for come promote container house. We're not doing a container house around here. A black and steel
listen. Fools, sometimes when them talk, them think Uncle Fool are listening, Over here, so appear intelligent people them over here. So you have a 1% where them come to learn, but them try show them colors. You understand? So not pay them no mind. I said to the people in the chat room, when you see them start behave so, just leave them out. Leave them.
Yes.
Thanks, Marie. We'll
right,
take some more calls. 876-804-7072. I like man this. All right, me see your link. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Yes, man. You know it's a long time, man.
Hello? When gone? When gone? A long time he want to do. And then he gone. Me on ear. Me call you back when me done. You. Me dep on here. When me done, me call you back in another 20 minutes. Are you to I deal with?
Yes, blessed. Good evening, man.
Hold on the mic. Me call you back. Yeah, caller.
Yes, man. Good evening. You know, say, a crackhead, the man that want full up Jamaica with,
When me see them that's up there for
Hold
a
on there.
crackhead,
Yeah, man, continue.
yeah, when me see them up there for a crackhead, me see living at them thing there, no brethren. See a crackhead living at them kind of thing there. And plus, the amount of container me see this breeze lift up and dash all about the place. Me don't know what kind of thing that the man are coming with in here.
My brother, the Prime Minister said in the Parliament yesterday that some of the houses have a lifespan of 2 years and some 10 years. Now, by just saying that, my brother, it is not conducive to what we want in Jamaica.
Sir, we don't want that something like that. The man have bring us crackhead
And
environment.
if it will cost $4 million, I am saying that a concrete house can cost $3 million. Anywhere between 2 and 3 million. 24 by 12. Anywhere between 2 and 3 million. And you can deliver that in 30 days.
Brethren, before this hurricane, I hear this man say him have money, with any disaster coming in, plus one money him get already, Brethren, let me tell you what the man do, brethren. Can the man take Jamaica people feed that, The man say want a 4 term, and the man put on all of them the money, they say buy votes for the next 2 elections so he can prove himself. The man can't be nowhere like Michael Manley, And that's him a prove with Michael Manley, brethren. Right now, the bus fare from Bombay to Kingston raised from $14,000 to $1,400 to $1,700. I know who raised it if Daniel Vaz given instructions for them to move next day. The next thing again, brethren, we start for the school picking them, brethren, not cry for the youth, them, my lad, because enough of them not going to graduate.
Sure.
And exam over next year, DSAT and all them little thing there, CXC.
Yeah.
The man trying to keep school like drive on a tree. They want to have all of them teachers they still there.
Well, go on, Prof.
Brethren, not tell us,
Ready for me?
Me don't know. More sort of go for that man there, brethren. More sort of go for that man there and lock up him warm for China.
A true man.
Him have no experience. Him not care not about the people them there. The man get me so cross now, tell a brethren that we can't believe what they go on in the country. I'm going to tell me, say, you get so much money, you get so much aid, and you can't do better. People should not work 2 hours shift to clean up in community. Everybody in the community trying to get work. All you do is set up a safety protocol. And if a man feels go out by the order and the safety protocol, you can't say, all right, go on in your yard. You understand? The man has a sense, they have better sense than him. We could have run this country.
All right, brother. Respect.
Give thanks here, sir.
876-804-7072. The Colin Bell Show. Go ahead, Marshy.
Yes, Colin. You can't tell me when Andrew will say about the truth. Tell me truth. What kind of house in Barney now? 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom?
Both.
Bad 2 times.
Yes.
No. You remember the man going to Parliament and stand up and tell we, say that Klansman has sell the house them over Clifton?
Well, him never say Klansman, but him say gangsters.
All right, put it that way. But we know a Klansman thing. But Klansman thing didn't argue. But me never know, so you want to teach a woman from around a film place who was a part of the Klansman.
Hey!
And from the older woman, the argument dead.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
What
can go so?
She gets arrested and then it just dead, sir. It dead like a film liar. Have somebody dead in my house. Nobody no 4th century, no not all that. You can't hear nothing about it. Case closed.
Not even jail, nobody no go, much less prison.
Look at that. Tell me when Andrew will not ever talk the truth. Sleep in his window and door open and all of that thing. The man have the record for the most state of emergency. The man, no man, come on now. We can't make people just lie to it. Then have this boy when him Tracy, side of him. Because I trace him. I'm not talking about Tracy that, you know.
Oh, Lord. What a name. What a name, Marshy. What a name.
Up your tracing the man in the depend. In can't tell we all know how the $1.4 million school bus business go. We can't hear nothing. After the argument there is done so. And now you get up.
No, the school bus argument now got done, you know. Can't tell her that.
Yeah, right.
The school bus argument not going to finish.
The 1.5 million US dollar where are you not gonna let it to the government or the finance minister? Which one of them? Because you realize that the finance minister in the side man, she can't say nothing. What the hell? What taking place in Jamaica?
Brother.
What the hell taking place? The finance minister,
Hold
let me
on.
tell you something.
Has there been an accident recently? A bus
Eh?
turnover? Has there been an accident? Just asking. I'm seeing some pictures on my phone. Some recent pictures that looks very disturbing. I saw an IES bus mash up people.
Aye,
Aye.
that not so nice. That not so nice.
No.
When I like hear them thing there.
No.
When I like hear them thing there. But you know, man, we have to shake up ourselves serious. Them thing I can't look good. Wow.
No.
This is disturbing. Let me make somebody else sarcasm.
Oh, yeah, see the pictures them too?
Yeah, man.
No, not this picture that I am showing.
No, me not see the other one.
This picture that I am showing is a different picture with some things where we are going to deliver.
Me think I said the bus look familiar to me. Your bus.
Yeah, man, we are going to deliver them thing here.
Oh, okay.
We have them thing here for go deliver. So we just give you a glimpse of what is in the machine.
Yeah, I not see government do them kind of something. I not see the GLP blogger them do them thing.
We load up. And tomorrow, because we do know, we make a contact and find out where the people them want. And if you realize we are carry a whole heap of solar light, a man just call me like while I have a next 10 when I go try see if we can negotiate and get them. Because the people them say them want light, tarpaulin, water. We have all of them there to deliver.
Before we go, anybody here want to the Japanese thing, then deliver, the 10 deliver.
Man, I not say Dayton get some.
But Mr. Dayton's all right.
I think Dayton said that there must be another Dayton Campbell.
Me give somebody else a chance. Cheers.
All right, Marsh, enough respect and thanks. This is the Colin Bell Show. And 5 minutes going up to 7 o'clock. We're getting off at 7. We're taking your calls. So if you want to say something, call me right now. 876-804-7072. Sister Tanya, I have the information for you. I have the information for you, Sister Tanya. Go ahead, caller.
Hello, Colin. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How you doing?
Not too bad. Say I have a solution.
Hold on for me before the solution. We have almost
right.
1,200 people on the live right now. Now, like up the live for me now. Like up the live for me and share the live. Everybody make a share. Everybody share to at least one person. Please and thanks. Go ahead, caller.
Right, that's all. Colin.
Yeah.
You know, if the people them down in Westmoreland and elsewhere that get hurt in this horrific disaster that happens a couple weeks ago, I believe, like how the government has slid and a slide and they go on like they don't want to spend the money for the people, what they need to do? They need to pack up themselves and go right up a garden house, go sit down, make the government people them can't see them.
Tell her. That was
Put up, that's what they need to pack them bags, what they have, and go right up there.
Wow.
Go sit down. Like how they drag their goddamn foot.
Yeah. And they're patting themselves on the shoulder.
Yes, nonsense. They just look like a big old waste. I don't even know what to class these people. Call themselves government. What kind of government are they? They act so dumb and stupid.
No, but here the Prime Minister in the Parliament yesterday, that what them doing. And the head of ADPEM said that over 21 days, they have distributed 116,000 care package. It should have been 600,000 care package.
That is sure you said they're not doing nothing. As if they, when they do it in the right way, they don't have properly counted.
Let's not be frivolous. Because we don't want to give them no gate to come through. We can't say the government now do nothing. They are doing some stuff. They are not doing enough, and they are moving way too slow. So don't give them no gate that people are saying government now do nothing. And we know what we mean when we say they now do nothing, you know. But don't even use it, because we not give them no gate to come through. Gate to come through. They are doing, but too little and too slow.
Well, I mean, I understand this. I just can't understand. I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. I try to put myself in their shoes, and I can't come up with a solution.
Them not ready. But I could take our next call before we close, yeah?
Yes, tell the people themselves to go right up a God knows where they're there. All of them need to go up there.
All right. Somebody telling me that there has been a motor vehicle accident close to the Vineyard Toll Plaza. That's what I'm seeing in the chat room. It looks bad to me, though. It looks real bad. Hello, good evening.
Colin, good evening. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Boy, they're relaxing on. Thanksgiving tomorrow. Soon go season up, you know?
Yes, yeah, season up with turkey.
No, I'm not eat that. I love it.
We're seasoning up our chicken then.
Mutton and oxtail and chicken.
Oh, some curry mutton.
Yes, man.
Somebody say, Colin, Dion just done Daryl and the headline.
Wait, let me get this down. Yes. Colin.
Yes.
Here, if Vaz did have a gun, he would have fired that yesterday, you know.
They say get pink.
He would have fired that in a parliament, you know.
Couldn't fire nothing.
Man love cuss and trace.
Is when you're limited, you know. You see people where dunce and dumb, then quick for fight. You know that then? Ignorant, head hot. Can't argue.
Conscience about them to Colin. In conscience about them, kind of know where them going or coming right now with the $1.4 million with the boss.
So we need information on that, you know. We need the info.
Yeah, man, that's about them, man.
But somebody need to tell him for us. We want to know if the government would be willing to pay the additional, to loan JPS the additional 200 million US if the 150 million can't do the work. Is the government willing to put up the rest of the money? We want to know that too.
Right, yes. Where is the money coming from?
Coming from the consolidated fund.
Enough, you know, Colin. That's why them have proposed it. And then why take so much money to give to JPS?
Well, JPS need to rebuild. We need to get back electricity in all our areas. The country can't run without that. The economy needs that to run. And therefore, yes, we do believe that the government has to reach out and assist. But we need to know the details. It needs to be done properly. We need to secure ourselves.
Yes.
And we don't know of a good deal. Hold on. Let me say this. I don't know of a good deal that Daryl Vaz has made for this country. I do not know of a good deal that Daryl Vaz has made for this country. Him tell us about the old boss that this is the best deal. And he's telling us that again, this is the best deal. We don't know if you ever make a good deal for us, servers. So we need to
ever.
We need to peruse the fine print of this deal that you're making. And the questions we have asked, you weren't unable to answer them. And we have one more question that was not asked. Would the government be willing to loan JPS the entire 350 million US dollars to do the recovery? Because there are those of us, I'm not saying all of us, coming out talk for the labor right troll them where say yes to everything you say. There are those of us who don't believe that the $150 million is going to be adequate. Hence, we are fearful that somewhere in the middle, JPS might hit a snag and have to come back to the government. So we want to prepare you from now.
Exactly. And then you hear some hanky-panky down in the end, and then it just got to waste. Because everything that Daryl Vaz has to do with call money, it never complete. Never go good.
Later, caller. Thanks for your call.
Okay, Colin, take care.
We have another call. If we have another call now, we take it. If we don't have another call now, we don't want nobody say, then did a call and we don't take the call. We want to talk to those vloggers and bloggers who did I run off them out about the GDP, you know. Where then they know? Oh, this GDP argument gone so fast. We're on there. We still say the GDP is 115. The debt to GDP is 115%. Go ahead, caller. Good evening and welcome.
Hi, good evening, Colin. Good evening, everyone.
Blessings.
Blessings. I just want to find out, do people understand when the Jamaican government go to the IMF or the World Bank and ask for a loan that it comes with concessions? Did the government ever explain what those concessions would be? Because normally you're not getting a loan for a big amount of money without concessions, right? And Jamaica does not have that hot commodity. Jamaica is not producing oil. Jamaica is not producing natural gas. Jamaica does not have those rich minerals that the
now we're
world
not
is looking
producing
for.
anything.
Okay. So has the government even explained to the Jamaican people when they go for a loan to the IMF or the World Bank, the concessions that may need to take place in order for them to get the loan? I don't think people understand the fact that when you go for a loan and it's a disaster, I get it, but these countries, these entities are still looking to make money. They really don't care. They have absolutely no care at all. So, what are the concessions the Jamaican government is going to have to do in order to get these loans?
I think for the rapid response loan from the IMF, I don't think that come with any concession, but the rest are going to come with concessions.
Of course. And
Definitely.
they need, I think the prime minister said they need like between 8 to 10 billion US dollars in order to try and rebuild.
Somewhere in that region, I think the prime minister said 6 to 8. The World Bank says the estimated damage is about 8.8 billion US dollars. Yeah, in that region. So $10 billion wouldn't be blowing it out of proportion.
So 10 billion US dollars. So
right.
They probably at some point will have to make some sort of concession.
But I like to look at it this way. We might have to make do with 5 billion. If we can muster 5 billion, we might have to make 5 billion, make it work.
Right. And then I wanted to say, I watched what happened in the parliament yesterday with Daryl Vaz.
Oh my God. No.
Okay.
No, hold on, caller. Hold on. You just hear me talking about pictures I'm seeing in my phone of what looks like an accident, right?
Right.
Yeah, so now I'm getting information here that it is in fact an accident close to the Vineyard Toll Plaza. And it is it is saying that, wrapping up, son, I soon come. It is saying that 5 people have died.
No.
So for me, it's unconfirmed, but that's what I'm seeing in the chat room, that 5 people died in that accident. Wow.
Oh, crap. Oh, no, that's not good. Crap.
See there.
That's sad. That's sad.
15 injured. 5 dead. Yeah, it looks bad when I saw it on my
Jamaica doesn't
phone.
need that now. Yeah, Jamaica doesn't need that now. Come on. Oh, crap. Hey, that's hard. That's hard.
Yeah. I've seen some pictures. I'm going to go look at it.
Okay.
I hope it's not too graphic. Let me just warn before, all right? Because to me it looks graphic. Let me warn you before. Let me warn everybody before that the pictures we are going to show. Hold on, let me just sort this out. Them look graphic. Them not look good. Them not look good at all. No look good.
Yeah, Jamaica doesn't need this. Not now. This. Oh, crap.
No.
No,
not showing any more of that. Let me see the picture. There's a picture of the bus. Let me see if I see there's a picture of the bus. Let me show you that. Let me show you the picture of the bus. This is the bus. This is the bus.
Yeah, I'm seeing some of the pictures now. Yeah,
this is the bus.
This doesn't look good.
No. My brother. We have a tight schedule.
Yeah, no. I was just saying with Daryl Vaz and the opposition leader exchange.
Yeah, man.
Now, the opposition leader definitely made a point to try and get to understand, right? So you're lending JPS 150 million US dollars to help them get to this point because they need, what do they need? Like 650 million US dollars to get everything up and running?
That's what they said first, 600 million. Now they are saying that they have revised the estimate and it is now down to 350 million US dollars.
So it's a valid point, and it is valid to understand how are we securing this loan? Because it seems like it's an unsecured loan.
It is.
Okay. What is the interest rate and what are the concessions that will be made? You see, these are the things that the Jamaican people, I don't think the Jamaican public understand. When the opposition is asking these critical questions, these are very important. Colin, I don't think they get it.
They don't get it.
This is important. This is important.
Poor
So
governance, my brother. Poor governance.
Poor governance. So you're lending them 150, which I get. I totally get. But what are the concessions? The concessions should be, if I'm lending you $150 million in loan to help get this up and running, I'm going to get more shares in the company. End of story.
But here where the problem is, my brother. Here what concerns us and what the opposition leader was trying to find out. If you need $350 million to do a business, and you said to me, invest, and I say I have 150 million, and you said, give me it now. I said, so where I get the next 200 from? Oh, you're vexed with me for that.
They have no answer.
And that's why I'm get vexed.
He got vexed, and you see how it turned personal, right? So I want people to realize, they talk about the PNP, oh, they're not fiscally responsible, they don't have the financial bones, but why is it the minister talking about we're caring government versus a person with, people with financial background? You answered the question, because the opposition leader, the opposition party, they do have the financial background, right?
A bad mind in bad mind. Bad mind.
Right.
But caller, let me apologize. Call me early Saturday morning. We are on 9 o'clock Saturday morning.
All right, Colin. All right.
Blessings.
No problem. Thank you. Blessings.
Yeah, man. Enjoy talking to you.
You too.
All right. We have to run. We have some people waiting on us. May the good Lord continue to bless and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his light and give you his peace. Until we meet again Saturday morning. Got to go, people. Man, we have some solar light I wait for me where we are trying to go get the people them down. So them need solar light. Been calling me. So I have to go. One love, my people. Blessings. See you Saturday morning.